Hi, William. I'm reading Chapter 6 of the Warriors Super Edition Blue Star's Prophecy. Well, Snowpaw danced around Bluepaw, who padded wearily toward the apprentice's den. Her paws ached from the journey. The warriors had run so fast, taking no account of her size, and she'd had to scramble over fallen trees and through ditches that they took in one stride. Who was there? I don't know. Irritation prickled Bluepaw's pelt. Lots of cats. She didn't want to admit that she'd stuck so close to Moonflower she'd hardly looked at the other clans. Even when Snowpelt had introduced her to a river cat, she'd been so tongue-tied that thinking of it now made her pelt burn with embarrassment. The gathering had been big and noisy, crowded with strange scents and a babble of chatter, too many eyes studying her curiously. She couldn't even remember what four trees looked like. All she had seen were cats of every shape and color jostling around her. There had been a huge rock, even bigger than High Rock, where the leaders had stood to address the clans, but with furry flanks pressed on either side of her, it had been almost impossible to hear them. Did Pine Star mention the stealing? How did the Wind Clan react? Snowpaw bobbed up and down in front of her. Bluepaw stared at her, exhausted. She just wanted to curl up in her nest and sleep. Yes, he said something, but I don't know how Wind Clan reacted because I don't know who the Wind Clan cats were, she snapped. Satisfied? Snowpaw gazed at her, eyes darkening with worry. Didn't you enjoy it at all? Bluepaw sighed. 2 days ago I was a kid. I might still be a kid if Pine Star hadn't suddenly decided to make us apprentices. She felt a prickling in her heart, like a nagging voice she couldn't quite hear. Everything seems to be happening so fast. I wouldn't be able to find my way back to Four Trees in daylight. She realized that Snowpaw was staring at her in dismay. Bluepaw felt a stab of guilt. It had been an honor to be taken to the gathering, and she shouldn't be complaining. It'll be much more fun when you can come too, she told Snowpaw. Ask Sparrowpelt if you can come next moon. Feeling her eyes start to close, Bluepaw padded past her sister and pushed through the ferns into the den. She curled into her nest, sighing with relief to feel the softness of moss against her tired limbs. The sound of bracken crunching beside her ear woke Bluepaw. Snowpaw was stirring in her nest. What is it? Bluepaw yawned. Go back to sleep, Snowpaw whispered. Sparrowpelt's taking me hunting again so I can practice my stalking. Stonepelt said you could sleep for as long as you like. Bluepaw felt torn. She wanted to hunt too, but her eyes still felt heavy with sleep. She closed them as Snowpaw crept away out of the den. When she opened her eyes again, the den was brighter. Daylight sent a green glow through the fern walls. Nagging wind buffeted the fronds, and when Bluepaw stretched and slid out of the den, it tugged at her ears and whiskers. Leaves were skidding and tumbling across the clearing, fetching up in drifts against the gorse barrier. A thick cloud covering hid the sky. Shivering, Bluepaw padded toward the fresh kill pile. Her squirrel was gone, and she felt a warm glow of satisfaction that she had helped feed her clan. Snowpelt was sheltering beside the nettle patch with Feather Whisker and Goose Feather hunched against the wind. Am I supposed to hunt before I eat? Bluepaw called to him. Stonepelt shook his head. You must be hungry after last night. Eat first and then clear out the nursery. Bluepaw nodded and took a bowl from the pile, carrying it to the mossy tree stump. There was no sign of Leopardpaw or Patchpaw. They must be out training. She wrinkled her nose at the thought of clearing out the kit's stinky bedding, then pushed the thought from her mind so she could enjoy her meal. As she swallowed the last mouthful, Feather Whisker padded toward her. I've got some fresh bedding stored in the medicine clearing, he told her. He sniffed the air. There's rain coming, so I collected some while it was still dry. Help yourself when you need to refill the nest in the nursery. Thank you. Bluepaw ran a wet paw over her muzzle and got to her paws. I'll clear out the old stuff and then come get it. Don't worry, Feather Whisker mewed. I'll bring it over. Bluepaw nodded gratefully and padded to the nursery. She hadn't been back there since she'd moved to the apprentice den, and it felt familiar, yet strange to be squeezing in through the entrance. Speckletail was curled in her nest with Lion Kit and Golden Kit, offering them a morsel of mouse. It's chewy, Golden Kit complained. I'll eat your bite, Lion Kit offered. You've had plenty, Speckletail chided. If you want more, you can go out to the fresh kill pile. Really? Lion Kit's ears perked. Can I choose anything I want? Yes, Speckletail answered, but nothing too big. I'll go with him, Thistlekit offered. Good idea. Poppydon pushed Sweet Kit off her belly. The small, molted tabby opened her eyes wide with complaint, but Poppydon silenced her. Why don't you go outside and play too? Come on, Thistlekit urged. It'll be fun. You too, Rosekit. Rosekit was playing with a moss ball at the edge of the den, lying on her back as she flicked it into the air and caught it. But it's cold and windy outside, she grumbled. When Feather Whisker brought the mouse, he said it was raining. All the more reason to get some exercise before it does, Poppy Don advised. Blue Paw let out a small meow to let them know she was there. Hello, Blue Paw, Poppy Don broke into a purr. I didn't see you come in. I hear you made a great catch yesterday. Weed Whisker was certainly pleased to have such a big meal. I was just lucky, Blue Paw replied, trying to be modest. I'm sure it was more than luck, Poppy Don meowed. Blue Paw shrugged and secretly pleased that her old den mates had heard about the squirrel. I've come to clean out the den. There, Speckletail mewed, whisking Lion Kit and Golden Kit out of the nest with her tail. It's time you were all outside and got some fresh air. Blue Paw will need room. Rose Kit stopped playing with her moss ball and sat up. But what if it rains? It's too chilly to go out, Golden Kit wailed. It's okay. I can work around you, Blue Paw offered. No, Poppy Don mewed firmly. True warriors don't hide from the weather. Exactly, Thistlekit agreed. Come on, you two. He patted around the den, nudging each of the other kits towards the entrance. I'll make sure the wind doesn't blow you away. Lion Kit was already outside when the others, muttering complaints, let themselves be heard from the den. Poppy Don rolled onto her back and stretched. You must be tired after the gathering, she yelled. How was it? Speckletail asked. Blue Paw didn't dare say that the whole event had gone past in a blur. It was great, she began, plucking old straw and strands of bracken from the edge of Speckletail's nest. Speckletail climbed out of the way. What did Pine Star say about WindClan's thieving? Blue Paw tensed. She really couldn't remember. If only Feather Whisker had told them about the gathering when he told them about the rain. As luck would have it, the pale silvery Tom scraped through the bramble entrance with 2 bundles of moss. Feather Whisker dropped the moss by his front paws. Pine Star told the clans that there had been evidence of hunting inside our borders and warned that any intruders will be sent away with more than just sharp words, he explained to the queens. Thank you, Star Clan, Blue Paw decided her warrior ancestors must have taken pity on her. Did he mention Wind Clan? Poppy Don wondered. Not out loud, but he was looking at Heather Star as he spoke, Feather Whisker replied. In a flash, Blue Paw recalled the Wind Clan leader, Heather Star, had been sitting on the great rock with the other clan leaders. Her pale pelt tinged rose even in the silver moonlight, her blue eyes blazing as she returned Pine Star's glare. I bet she didn't like that, Speckletail commented. She didn't reply, Feather Whisker mewed darkly. Let's hope Pine Star's words were enough to warn them off, Poppy Daw signed. A battle so close to Leaf Bear will do no cat any good. We need to conserve our strength for the cold moons ahead. Speckletail nodded. We should be concentrating on fighting hunger, especially with so many kids in the nursery. Blue Paw looked up from her work. Do you think that Wind Clan was stealing from us? They've done it before, Poppy Don meowed. Feather Whisker was spreading moss flat with his muzzle. Let's hope they don't do it again. Blue Paw, Snowpaw's mew came from the clearing outside. She sounded excited. Blue Paw glanced at Feather Whisker, wondering if he'd mind if she left him for a moment. Go on, he mewed. I'll manage here. Quick as a mouse, Blue Paw turned and slid out of the den. Snowpaw was sitting proudly by the fresh kill pile with the wing tugging her along for a vole lay in her paws. My first catch, she called as Blue Paw raced to join her. Blue Paw sniffed the vole. It smelled fresh and warm, and it made her mouth water. My favorite. Goose Feather crouched by the nettle patch, got to his paws, and wandered over. You're both good hunters, he meowed approvingly, but when he glanced down to admire the vole, he froze, and his tail bushed out of his eyes, grew wide as an owl's. Star Clan, save us, he yelled. Blue Paw peered at the vole. What's wrong with it? Goose Tail was shaking from nose to tip. It's a sign, he wailed. Destruction for us all. I hope you have a good night, William, and I love you very much, and I look forward to hearing you read the next chapter. Love you. Sleep tight.